Hey, it's Nathan Williams with Crazy Marketing. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add the Facebook pixel to your ClickFunnels funnels and also how you can set it up so you can track conversions on your funnels. So very cool, powerful stuff. But before we get into it, just know that this is a complicated technical tutorial, okay? This is not an easy thing to do. So if you're easily overwhelmed or not very technically savvy, I have a couple other videos on how to add the Facebook pixel to a ClickFunnels funnel. Now they're not as accurate or precise or the best necessarily, but they work well and they're easier. So look at the links below or around this video for those videos. There's a standard event method and then the event setup tool method. So those two methods are, they have their pros and cons, but they're easier than what I'm about to show you here. All right, so let's go ahead and just get into it. So this is our simple little funnel here. So I have an order form, two-step order form page right here. And I know what events I want to install. I want the view content event. So if they land on this page, I want to trigger the view content event. And also, it's a two-step order form, I want to go ahead and do an add to cart event as well. So when they fill out step one, hit submit, it add to cart event gets fired off. OTO number one here then, I'm going to have two separate purchase events on this page. The first one's going to be for people that purchase off of this page, so it'll fire right when somebody lands on this page. The second one will be if they buy one of the OTOs. So if they buy the OTO, it'll trigger another conversion event. Over here on OTO number two, we have a purchase event if they buy OTO number two. So we'll trigger it that way. Order confirmation doesn't have any events on it, so we don't have anything to worry about there. And then we have our membership access area, and we want to go ahead and see how many people actually create their membership. So we're going to put a custom event on their create an account option. So that's what our goal is to set up here in this video. And I might skip a step. Like I might not set up OTO2 purchases because if you understand how to do it on OTO1, there's no reason to set it up over here. Save you a couple minutes of time, basically. So, but you'll understand the concept and how to trigger events based off of things like clicks or page views and things of that nature. All right, so let's go over to Google Tag Manager. So of course you need Google Tag Manager first to do this. So you can Google Tag Manager, should bring you to this type of website here. And go ahead and create your account. It's free and log in and all that stuff. If you have accounts already, you'll probably see a page that looks similar to this, or you could just come up here and create an account. And then what you need to go ahead and do is create a container. Now what I recommend is one container per funnel. Okay, so that keeps things nice and organized and neat. So yeah, if you don't know any difference, just remember one container per funnel. Stick with that rule unless you understand a different way of doing things. But if you're new, one container per business. So to do it, come in here and do create container and container name. And I'm going to call it the same name as my funnel. So that way I keep things straight. So I got the AliExpress funnel here. I'll copy that, throw that in there. This is target platform is web and create. And it gives us two snippets of code we got to go ahead and install on our funnel. So I'm over here under the funnel level settings. Do this in the header area. So there's that snippet. And then I got this snippet over here. It says put it in the body. So we're going to put it in the body tracking code. And then I scroll to the bottom, save and update settings. And now my Google Tag Manager code is installed across my funnel, right? Because if I add any code in this area, it adds it to all the pages of my funnel. So sweet, tag code is installed. All right, now we got to get into it. Google Tag Manager has a lot of features and functionality, and if it's interesting to you, I recommend taking a course on it. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. I'm covering like bottom 3% of it. Like there's so much stuff you can do with it, but I'm going to cover what you need to do exactly what we're talking about, tracking conversions in ClickFunnels funnels. But there's a lot more you can do, really cool, powerful stuff. All right, so basically how it works is we have a couple of things here. We got tags. And tags are like your pixel. So Facebook pixel will be a tag. Your events will be tags. So purchase event, lead event if you have that, view content event, custom events, etc. Those are all tags. Triggers are what makes a tag pop up. So that could be like a page loading. That could be the trigger for a tag to appear. Clicks, so button click, link click could be the reason that a tag appears, things of that nature. Variables are things you could go ahead and track. We're going to set up a few variables as well that we can go ahead and track. But yeah, they're for, variables. So you could throw like your Facebook pixel ID into a variable, and then you just reference that variable instead of referencing the code, like in the code itself. That probably didn't make much sense, but if you know what a variable is, that's what it is. All right, so, and then you got folders and organizational stuff. Let's go ahead and create a tag now. And a new tag, and this will just be Facebook pixel. Boom. All right, tag configuration, click on that, and we want to come to custom HTML, and we want to come into Facebook Manager and come into all this stuff in pixels, and you want to go ahead and click into your pixel here, and then go to setup and install pixel, and then manually add pixel code to your website, and grab this snippet of code right here, come over to Google Tag Manager, throw it in there, and then we want to come down to the bottom here, and tag firing priority, we want to set this as some absurdly large number. Basically, the larger the number, the earlier your tag will fire. And since this is the main tag we're tracking, we want it to fire first. So just put a big number in there, and then you're safe. All right, so throw a big number in there, and we're not going to mess with any of these other options here. But we're going to come down to triggering real quick, and we're going to trigger this on all pages, and then we're going to go ahead and save it. And we put it on all pages because we want our Facebook pixel on all pages in our funnel, right? That makes some sense. I'm gonna go ahead and submit it real quick and publish it and continue. And then I'm gonna come back to my workspace here. And I wanna go ahead and preview it, so I'll click preview. And now I'm in preview mode, so if I come over to my funnel and I pop up my funnel, I see a little Google Tag Manager box right here. So this is kind of like my working window, so to say, and it tells me what's going on. So we had a couple events happen. So page view, DOM ready. I can't remember what DOM stands for, window loaded. But the point is, over here under page view, we see that the tags fired on this event are my custom HTML, and it succeeded, and that's my Facebook pixel. So it looks like it worked over here. If I come up here to my Facebook Pixel Helper, which is a free Chrome extension, if you don't have it, go get it. I'll help you test things out. I'll have a link below this video or around this video. You can check it out. But we also see that my Facebook Pixel went off over here too. So Facebook Courses version 4 Pixel went off, page view event. Awesome. Seems to be working. Both Tag Manager and the Facebook Pixel Helper saying that it worked. Looks like it worked. All right, so that was easy. That's the easy part right there, is adding that code. All right, so another code we want to go ahead and add is a view content event, right? That was our thing over here, view content if this page loads. So come over here and let's come on down to the bottom here and continue and manually add event code. And I'm looking for this view content event, and I want to go ahead and select it right here. So view content, and then come back over, and then I will do under tags, new, I'll do FB for Facebook and view content. Oh, no colon, my bad, dash. All right, tag configuration, custom HTML, throw that little snippet in there. I'm not gonna mess with any other settings right now. Hit save, save tag. And then I want to come down to triggers and new. And then I wanna do order form view content. Okay, so that I'm gonna set up my trigger, order form, view content. Now, of course, you can name it however you like. I just try to keep things simple. Since we're using one container per funnel, should be pretty easy to keep things organized. So whatever naming convention seems to work for you. All right, so what I want to do is on a page view and some page views and page host name or page path, we'll go with page path contains, and I want it to contain cat. So I'll type that in there, cat. Now, one thing actually I probably need to change is all my page paths contain cat in this particular instance. So what I actually want to do is equals cat. If it page path equals cat, then fire this pixel right here. So save or fire this trigger. And then I need to come back to my tags and click on it and come down to triggers and add order form view content and save. And I'll go ahead, submit, publish, continue, and back to workspace. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh my preview. Come back to my funnel, hit refresh, wait for my window to pop up. And I see right here that my tag did not fire like I thought it would. Dang it, I messed something up. So let's come over here to variables, okay? And let's see, so what actually happened, page path URL string, is this right here. So this is what I should have entered, not just cat, I should have entered /cat, right? So, okay, good to know. So I'm gonna come back over here to Google Tag Manager, edit my trigger, edit, and edit right here, and then save. And there we go. So now my tag fired over here. If I come to my Facebook Pixel Helper, I see view content event fired off as well. So good deal there. And hopefully now you can kind of see, I tried to introduce you to this variables option over here. So we come over, we select the appropriate placement here, and we come over to variables, we can see what we can choose from for our trigger. So we got like page host name, so we could have used this, or page path, or page URL, or page or referrer. So there's different, options here for you to select for your triggers. All right, so we're gonna deal a lot with this, so we're coming back to it. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and do something. We're gonna come over here to variables, and we're gonna go ahead and enable a bunch of default built-in variables. So we're gonna configure now, and basically, if you don't know what to select them all, okay? So in my case, I don't know what to select. I'm gonna select them all, just so I have everything to choose from. I've not seen or heard of selecting them all. I haven't heard if it slows down your website or anything like that, so I think the more information, the merrier, especially if you don't know what you might need. So we'll select them all. So those are all the variables. Awesome, got them selected right there. And now there's another trigger I want to go ahead and add, and new. And I'm going to call it generic click. And the point of this trigger is it's going to fire off every time I click on the page. And you'll see why we want to do that in a minute. So click on there, click all elements, all clicks, save. Gonna go ahead, submit. All right, sorry about that. My kid woke up from his nap and had to go do fatherly things, but we're back at it again. All right, so basically what we just did was install a generic click. So every time I click anywhere on this page, you'll notice that in the Google Tag Manager, this click event fires, right? So when I click on stuff, it keeps firing. And the point of that is every time I click, it pops up and stores different variables based off of what I click on. So if I click like on this button over here and come up to the latest click, we see that there's some stuff going on here. Like click element, we see some information, text, click text, we see some information over here, versus if I click on this image and go over here, we see some different information, right? And these variables let us decide when to trigger different events. So in our particular funnel here, what we're trying to do is we're trying to trigger an add to cart event when they click the button on this first step of this two-step order form, right? So they fill out this information over here, click this button, we want add to cart event to fire. So let's go ahead and set that up. So come back to Google Tag Manager, let's go ahead and set up our tag, and come back to Facebook Pixels, and set up and install Pixel, and manually add the code, continue, and manually add event code. All right, so let's look for the add to cart event. Here it is right here. Now, if you don't see it, you can click this drop down and select an option that has like a typical add to cart event. E-commerce and retail, of course, add to cart is applicable, so we'll select that option. come on down here and we can go ahead and just select the generic code. If you want to get all fancy and stuff with it, you could add conversion values and currency and all sorts of stuff if you want to. But that's beyond the scope of this little training here. All right, so let's go ahead, add tag and new over here. And we'll do, oh, not that, FB add to cart. Tag configuration, custom HTML, paste it on in there. Not going to mess with anything else. Hit save, save tag. Cool. Now we're going to come over to triggers here and set up our trigger. So we'll go ahead and do new, and we'll do order form add to cart and trigger configuration. So now we need to figure out what is going to be our trigger for the add to cart, right? That's our goal. We probably want to do clicks. We're going to click that button, right? So it makes sense to do clicks. And then let's come over to our funnel. All right, so if I click over here in just the orange section and come up to my latest click, we see some information. Let me try and make this bigger. So we see stuff like click text, cat paw necklace, get cat paw necklace now. Yes, I want this limited offer. So it looks like it includes both pieces of text here. We see like a click element over here where it does like the # or hashtag submit form 2-step. We see up here we have click classes. We have some information here, in particular step 1. So pay attention to that. So we have some information. We could go ahead and use those variables to kind of like use that to be a trigger, right? But ClickFunnels does something kind of interesting with their buttons. They create them as divs. Now I can't quite remember what div means, but it's basically like a little HTML element. And you can put divs inside of divs inside of divs inside of divs. So you need to be careful tracking their buttons. So you notice I clicked in this orange portion. I tried to point that out. So I clicked in this orange portion the first time. But if I click on the text right here and come over here, we see that stuff changed, right? So the classes changed. We still see step 1 here, so that's a key thing to note. The click text changed. Now it just says get cat paw necklace now. We're not including the subtext over here. There's some other stuff in here, but we're not going to mess with all that stuff right now. It's not important. I'm just trying to demonstrate or illustrate a point to you. All right, if we click down here, this subtext, and come over here, we see still step 1 up here. So again, I'm pointing this out for a reason, but we see also, yes, I want this limited time offer. So click text has changed every time I clicked on this button. If I clicked in this orange section, it showed both of these. If I clicked the top text, it only showed the get cat paw necklace now. If I click down here, the subtext, it says, yes, I want this limited time offer. So the point is people might click this button in various locations, right? So you need to be mindful of that. If you've selected, like you want to set your trigger to, yes, I want this limited offer, like it's only going to work if they click this subtext, or if you do like a contains, yes, I want this limited offer, if they click this orange portion. But if they click this text up here, like it would not trigger your tag, and that would not be good, right? But one thing that is consistent across the orange area, this top area, and this subtext is this step 1. That has been consistent, and it is unique to this step 1 button right here. So that's what we want to go ahead and set as our trigger when the click classes is contains step 1. Okay, so I just want to point that out there. Their buttons are unique. You need to pay attention and click all over those buttons to make sure you're getting the information you need. So we got our event we're working on, or I'm sorry, not our event, our trigger. Click all elements, and we want some clicks. Click classes contains, and what was it again? It was step 1. So let's do step 1, just like that, and save. And then we need to come back to our tag, click on our add to cart tag, and we need to add the trigger to it, right? So we got our add to cart trigger up here, and save, and then submit and publish, and skip or continue, doesn't matter. If you want to fill out a description, go for it. We'll go back to workspace real quick. We'll go ahead and refresh real quick. We'll go ahead and refresh our funnel real quick. And we'll look at what's going on. So we have our Facebook pixel being fired once. Awesome. That's what we wanted. We have our view content pixel also being fired once because they landed on this page. And then tags not fired on this page, we have add to cart. And that's awesome, right? So that means like we have the add to cart event on our page, but it hasn't fired yet, and that's good because we didn't press this button yet. So if I come up here and I fill out this form and I click this button here, we see, boom, just like that, that add to cart event moved up to tags fired on page. Also, if you caught it, you might need to rewind 10 seconds or whatever. This changed too. We see now that the add to cart event has been fired as well. So awesome, that worked. So very, very cool stuff. Now I do recommend going back before you go live in real life. You go back and you double check clicking on like the button, the text, the subtext, etc. Make sure it fires on all those different locations because you want to make sure it fires, everywhere, right? So that's important. But anyway, I think I illustrated the point where their buttons are unique. Okay, just know that fact. All right, in here, people will check out. They'll purchase whatever products they want to purchase. It's kind of hard to track dollar amounts. You could probably create some dynamic code to track those dollar amounts. You could probably create something to text or to calculate whether or not they buy the bump. But that's some tricky stuff. Okay, I recommend just going with your average order value with whatever they buy on this order form right here. Use that average order value for your purchase event, which is what we're setting up next in this video here. So I just want to point that out. You could likely do some fancy stuff, but that's advanced. All right, so what we're going to do instead is we're going to have a purchase event on our OTO1 page, right? So they go from order form page to OTO1 page. That means they purchase something, and we're going to trigger an event. So let me come to my funnel here, OTO1 page, and come over here to Tag Manager, and we'll do tags and new and FB purchase initial offer. All right, so this is our initial offer purchase. This is what I was talking about. I was talking a little ahead of the game, but hopefully you're tracking. And we'll come over here, find our purchase event here. So what I was talking about with the average order value of that initial order form, put that in right here. So let's say the average order value is $15, okay? And USD is our currency, and it gives us a little snippet down here. So we'll grab this little snippet, come back up into Google Tag Manager and custom HTML, throw our code in there. We're not going to mess with anything else. Save tag, come on down to triggers, new trigger, and then OTO1 purchase initial offer. So this is our initial offer trigger, and we're going to do when page view, some page views, and when let me come back over here and make sure we grab the correct variable. So let me pop up my upsell one page, and then click on page view over here and variables, and let's see what we got going on. So this is what I'm looking for, like page URL down here or page path, just like we did with the view content event. So we'll grab this cat1 and its page path. So page, where are we at? Page path equals, oh, that's not what we wanted. And it's /cat-us1, right? So save. We need to go back to our tags, click on it, and then add the trigger to our tag. So we got OTO1, purchase initial offer, and save. Cool. So let's go ahead and refresh this page real quick. And you know what? I forgot to publish my Google Tag Manager. So let's go ahead and submit and publish, continue. So if something doesn't load like you think it would, double check to make sure you published it first. Let's go to workspace and refresh. And then let's refresh our page, and hopefully we have a purchase event being fired on this page. And we do, right? Purchase initial offer event. We come here to our pixel. We see that we have the page view event, which means our pixel's on the page. And then we have a purchase event. We click this little drop down. We see the value, 15, currency USD, and cool, looks like it's working over here. So awesome stuff right here. Then the next thing we want to go ahead and do is another purchase event if they actually buy our OTO. So if they click one of these buttons down here, we want to make sure that we track that purchase, right? So let's go ahead and set that up as well. So what we could do is set up different triggers. So we could set up a trigger for this button over here on the left and a different trigger for this button over here on the right. And I guess for the sake of example, so you can see multiple times, multiple cases where I'm doing this, we'll set one up for each button so you know how to do it, okay? Now, hopefully you know how to do a button from previously, but we'll do it again. All right, so the first one is $4.95, okay? So let's come back over to our pixel and do $4.95. Okay, grab this, come to Google Tag Manager, tags, and new tag, and FB purchase OTO 1 $4.95. All right, cool. Tag configuration, custom HTML, paste our code in there, leave everything else default, save tag, triggers, and then new down here, and OTO 1 purchase $4.95. All right, good enough. All right, this one, all elements, some clicks, and then we need to go figure out our variable over here. And so let's scroll down to our button, and we've got to resize this a little bit here. And I'm just going to click on the button and wait for a second, and we get a missing purchase error. So these OTO pages are a little tricky, but you're going to understand what to type in to Google Tag Manager, and you won't have to come in here and try and figure out the variables. You'll know what the variables are for the different pages. So anyway, let me go down and click on this button one more time. Let's see. All right, click on it. All right, so now it should stay. Let me make sure we're on the right click. Let me go to variables here, and we can look at what we have going on. So I have a couple different options over here. So, click classes like we used on that on the order form step 1. We got some other information over here like yes link and so on. But what we're going to do for these OTO buttons is to click text, because fortunately for these buttons, the text stays the same no matter where you click on the button. So that's a good sign, or a good thing, right? So that's good. So we know that add 1 pair of cat paw earrings to my order is our text that we're going to go ahead and track. So I'm just going to leave add, whoops. So I'm just going to copy this add 1 pair because that's what's unique. So I'll copy that and come back over to Google Tag Manager, and I want to do click, what was it? Click text, contains add 1 pair, and save. All right, cool. Let's come back over to tags and make sure we go ahead and associate the trigger with the appropriate tag. So OTO 1 purchase, save. And now let's go ahead and do our next one. So we got our OTO 1, but the 990 option. So we'll do new, and then we'll do FB purchase OTO 1 990. Tag configuration, conversion value 990, and copy this code, come to Google Tag Manager, custom HTML, paste it on in there, leave everything else default, save tag, and then triggers, and then new, and then we'll do OTO 1 per purchase 990, and then trigger configuration, all elements, some clicks, click text, contains, and then what did the button say on it? Let me refresh my page here. So it says add to pair. Add to pair. All right, cool. Save. Go ahead and associate my trigger with my tag now. And triggering, and where are we at? Add to pair. And save. And submit. And publish. And skip. And let's go to workspace. And let's go ahead and refresh real quick. So let's go back and look at our funnel real quick. So what we've done is we've added a view content when this page loads, and added cart when they click the go to step 2 button. And then on OTO1, we added a purchase event when they land on this page. So they purchase this product, landed on this page, we triggered or fired off a purchase event. And then we fired off a purchase event where they purchase option 1 or option 2 here, and they have different values associated with them. Up next, we would do the OTO2, and we'd set it up very similar to how we did the OTO1 page. Now, we would not do a purchase event on page load. We would do it only if they click the buttons. So that's the only difference. So no on-page load purchase, only if they click the button. So we just went through the process of setting up the trigger and the tags if they purchase with the button clicks, right? So same exact concept on order OTO2 as there is OTO1. Hopefully you got that. I don't want to go through it again because we've been here for quite a while. So there we go. There's those options. Now for the last option here, let's go ahead and set up our membership access option because we want to track a unique event, a custom event. There we go, a custom event if somebody actually registers for the membership portal. So let's come over and set that up real quick. So let's go back to Google Tag Manager real quick and go into tags and set up our tag and new. And then this will be membership login, create account, and tag configuration, custom HTML. And then we're going to drop our custom code in here. So basically to create a custom event with Facebook pixel events, you just do like the FBQ and then track custom and then whatever you want to name your custom event. And you could add extra parameters if you want to. I'll include a link below on how to go ahead and set up custom events, but there we go. So instead of like a purchase event, we have a custom one. All right, so that's all there is to it. And then we'll leave it as save and save tag. And then we got to go ahead and set up our trigger, of course. And we want to go ahead and do new and membership area, create account, and go ahead and set up our trigger. So come to ClickFunnels. And we need to go ahead and figure out what our button looks like over here. So let's come to, we can edit the page if we want to, just to see what's up. So we got to create your account button over here. And if we come over here, we see our sign up buttons, create your account. So that's basically the text of the button for people that are creating their account, right? And if you change it, then take note of it. So we'll do this create your account option and come back over to Google Tag Manager and go to all elements and some clicks. And we know that it is click text, right? We've done this several times now, looking at the click text contains or is or equals. So contains, create your account. That's good. So save. And then we want to go ahead and apply our trigger to our tag. So come on down, membership and triggering. And we want membership area, create account, and save. All right, cool. Then we'll go ahead and submit, publish, skip. Wait for it to load. Let's go back to workspace. Let's go ahead and refresh. And I think we should be good now. We should have all of our pixels and events and all that other stuff going off. So now the last step, of course, is to test everything out. So let's go back to Facebook pixel area and go to test events. And we want to go ahead and go to our funnel. So let's go grab our funnel URL to make sure that we're in the right space. So grab that right there, come over here, plug this in, and open website. And let's see what the heck happens. So there we go. We have our view content event going off because we had that event installed on our page right here. And then we also have our page view event going off too. And that just, is a general pixel firing. So those are the events we wanted to see. Hopefully we see an add to cart event when we click go to step 1 or go to step 2. So where's my funnel? So here we are, and let me grab my credit card information and come on down here, select my country, and I'll click in the button and come back over, and there we go. We have our add to cart event. So yes, it seems to be working. We're going through the funnel. Things seem to be working okay. So let's come back over here and let's go ahead and buy this thingy. So, and we'll add this and complete order. All right, so when this OTO page loads, hopefully we have a purchase event. So we do. We got a purchase event over here, and we see that it's $15. Again, that's our average order value for our initial offer. We went ahead and set that up. You can change it over time as you get to know your average order value. There's probably other ways to track it more accurately, but that's kind of advanced. So we just go average order value on that initial offer. So that's our objective there. All right, so now we have our OTO option that we did set up with the pixel. So hopefully it works, right? So if we go 1 or 2 pairs, let's just go 1 pair. And hopefully it triggers another purchase event of $4.95. So let's come over here and we see another purchase event and it's $4.95. So heck yes, seems to be working okay. So that's awesome. Now OTO2, we didn't set up our events, so nothing's gonna fire over here other than a regular page view option. So it doesn't really matter. So now in an ideal world, I'd go ahead and test out this cat library and make sure our custom event fires, but I'm having an issue because I'm already logged in and I'm an admin and I created the funnel and all that stuff. So having an issue, I'm gonna try something real quick and I'll let you know if it works. And so it did not work like I hoped it would. It logged me in automatically and I was not able to go ahead and click that create account button. But let's just say, for the sake of example, that it worked. We know that like the OTO options work by doing that click text trigger. So there's no reason why somebody creating their account should not trigger the event. It's just hard to do it in the same window that Facebook is watching. Now I could of course go and open a new incognito window and go through the process and come in here and double check things, but doing it within the test window is tricky business. But let's just say, for the sake of example, like it worked, okay? Because it should work. The trigger, the click text, all that stuff makes sense. It all aligns, just like the OTO button. So anyway, this has been a very, very long video, especially since I had to take like a 6-hour break in between recording it. And hopefully it makes sense. You understand how to use Google Tag Manager to track your entire funnel process. You see how you could track button clicks, so then you could track purchases on OTO pages and really get down to the nitty-gritty details of your conversions. So it is advanced, it is technical, it is kind of tricky, but hopefully this is helpful and gives you an inside scoop of how it all works. And thank you. Have a great rest of the day.